I'm Chronix, and this is Crystal from the most extreme wrestling. This is your Brian Pillman Loose Cannon DVD review. This is probably from like 2006.
I just watched it just now.
With you.
Yes.
I just watched it with you.
Right. But you had seen it before, but we watched it together.
Together.
Just now.
It's a married couple.
That's right. So, a couple things about this DVD. I thought it was very interesting. I was pretty much blown away by dude's wrestling ability.
Like his high flying.
Yes.
Fly
like it
around.
was really awesome. It was like Shawn Michaels level flying.
Well, he flew a little bit higher a little time. Teddy?
Sometimes, yes he did. Teddy, no! Teddy's trying to knock over the tripod.
Oh, you can sit here.
Okay. So, the other thing, this is a very interesting guy. I thought it was a cool, like, inspirational story. He had all these throat issues.
Yeah, a lot of surgeries when he was a child.
Got through all that. He was always small because of it, but he, like, overcame, became a professional football player, professional wrestler, had a lot of heart.
Well, he wasn't a professional,
determination.
was he?
Yeah, he was a professional football player. Played for the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, somebody wasn't paying attention to the
I do remember that now.
Oh, I do remember that
The
now.
Bengals, yes.
Look who knew something that Chronix didn't know.
I knew that.
Anyways, so I thought that was cool because, you know, he like overcame. It was a good story.
And they were saying how they said he was like short and stuff, but he doesn't seem very short.
I don't know how short that he is. I don't know.
He's got to be like 6'1" or 2.
But they say that Shawn Michaels is short. Shawn Michaels is 5'11".
Well, he's 6 foot something.
Shawn Michaels is
6'1".
5'11".
No way.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
I thought he was for real. No.
Can't be. Or unless they've been lying about his height on all the stats.
It's possible.
I mean, that's possible. They've always billed him as like 6'1", I'm just saying.
I think that he's under 6 foot.
I don't know about that.
We'll just have to look. Anyways, so...
But they said he was a small guy, which I didn't really see because when you got into the wrestling deal, dude is a muscular man. Like,
True.
to today's standards, dude is a beast.
True.
But I guess back then, maybe not so much.
Yeah, maybe not so much. But, other takeaways from this video besides, like, he's really cool. Of course, totally depressing at the end when he died at 35.
Yeah, that's never cool.
Totally depressing.
Another Vince speech about another wrestler dying is just like...
Well, I'm just, like, watching the TV, and there's this scene with, like, 5 wrestlers, and I'm like, dead,
Yeah.
alcoholic, stroke.
You just described the Heart Foundation.
I did, I'm sorry, but that's what it was, and it made me sad.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of suck, because it's only 15 years ago.
Yeah, like, it's sad. But anyways, moving past that, the other thing, interesting takeaways, I found it funny that everyone on the video talked about, like, what had happened, and they talk about wrestling, you know, like it's a work, they talk about the business, blah, blah, blah. Arn Anderson talks about wrestling like it's for real. Like, he was talking about storylines like they were for real. And he was like he was always, like, spinning it like they were real live events, you know?
Like how so?
Like, he'd be like, oh, well, you know, I thought that it was time for Brian to be in the Four Horsemen because he just had all the qualities of a horseman, which were such and such and such. And I'm like, man, they put Brian in the Four Horsemen because it was, like, best for business at that time. And then he'd be like, and Brian got angry at this guy, and they fought because they were angry at each other. And I'm like, they fought because it was a work and it was a storyline. And it was, like, weird to me. Like, it was just weird because he kept talking about it like it was real, and he was the only person on the DVD doing that.
I think he was doing that because he's just so old school, and that's just the way his mind thinks.
I think so too, but
and I don't think that's a bad thing.
I'm not hating. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it was extremely bizarre to me as a new wrestling fan to have somebody on the TV all old school, talking like these were, like, legit, real happenings.
Yeah, because, like, now on DVDs, it's always, like...
Yeah.
They just expose everything.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing.
Right.
I'm just saying it, like, blew my mind. It did.
And I liked, you know...
Like, whoa.
Like, I don't know, like, a lot about his career, because, you know, I was really young when a lot of this happened.
Yeah, but apparently Brian was all about keeping the kayfabe up, too, because he even had the boys
They said
in the
that,
back.
see, and that's what I was getting to.
Yeah, he even had the boys in the back going.
They was talking about, they was doing these fake storylines where he was, like, shooting, you know, on the booker of WCW, and he did the shoot here. And even Mick Foley got butthurt because he didn't know that something was a work and no one told him. And I mean, that's just all I can say about that. I mean, wasn't he?
He was a little bit.
Because he's like, I thought we were good enough friends. He could have told me. I didn't know. I thought he was for real crazy.
He did say that.
And he looked all emotional and upset and everything.
He totally did.
Poor old Mick Foley. He didn't know. But everyone talked good about him in the DVD.
Oh, yeah. And it did make me sad that, you know, like he broke his ankle, busted up his ankle in a car wreck, and he got, of course, you know, that always leads, the injuries always lead to the abuse of the painkillers to try to still wrestle when you don't need to, which is sad because JR was on the DVD. Like, I thought JR's part was pretty touching.
Mm-hmm.
JR was talking about how he's trying to get Brian to realize that it's not a bad thing to be a commentator and to just quit trying to wrestle, you know.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, look at all the guys that got put into the commentary booth, that's pretty much like, you're done. But, you know, like Randy Savage, Mr. Perfect, it's like, well, you can't wrestle no more. And he didn't want to be like that. He wanted to be a wrestler. He wanted to be in the spotlight.
But it's not a bad thing. Like, it's a bad thing to keep hurting yourself.
But they want to stay in the spotlight.
That part just made me sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is sad. And they get addicted to all the pills.
Mm-hmm.
It's the point.
Even though that was not the cause of his death.
What was the cause of his death?
It didn't help. He had a heart condition. He had an underlying...
Oh, and they didn't know?
He had an underlying heart condition that no one knew about. And the drugs did not help, but they were not the end-all cause.
Right.
But it was the heart condition that was his official cause of death. It's just the lifestyle he was leading did not help.
Yeah, I mean, he was taking so many pain pills and somas and other drugs that he kept wrecking his car constantly.
Yes.
That's what his wife said.
His wife did say that.
But yeah. I mean, you know, Pillman's got a gun angle.
That was cool.
One of the craziest storylines ever.
Like
he was really good talker.
Good talker.
He was very smart.
Good in the ring.
Studied.
He was
like
awesome.
Words, you know.
So yeah, I learned a lot about him. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's sad that he's not around today.
It is sad that he's not around today.
But and it's got 2 discs too, which is always nice.
I know, you were just
obsessed
with the 2 discs.
Well, that means that you get to watch matches. And you love matches, right? Matches are cool. You more content, the better.
I know, right. But I just find it weird that you have this thing about 2 discs. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not that it's 2 discs, it's the content. You can't put everything on 1 disc.
Okay.
You know, like in Blu-rays, you don't have to do that.
Right.
Unless you got a lot of stuff like the Stone Cold DVD.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Is that a bad thing?
Good DVD.
Good documentary.
Overall, it has 2 discs, so 2 thumbs up for this DVD.